Could the rise of ISIS have been prevented?
They could have been prevented if the international community worked harder together to make sure that funding and support to the original groups in Syria were not allowed to get to the extent that they were.
The international community, the United States, intervened too late.
I think we could have done a better job in making sure that earlier on was identified who the bad people were, and action by the international community was taken not to allow that to happen.
It turns out President Obama was urged to intervene in Syria much earlier. In a new book, Worthy Fights, former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta writes that in a meeting in the fall of 2012, he, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, the director of the CIA, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs all urged the president to arm moderate Syrians who had started the revolution against the dictatorship to begin with. That might have left no room for ISIS to grow.
The real key was, how can we develop a leadership group among the opposition that would be able to take control? And my view was, to have leverage to do that, we would have to provide the weapons and the training in order for them to really be willing to work with us in that effort.
But with virtually his entire national security team unanimous on this, that's not the decision the president made.
I think the president's concern, and I understand it, was that he had a fear that if we started providing weapons, we wouldn't know where those weapons would wind up. My view was, you have to begin somewhere.
In retrospect now, was not arming the rebels at that time a mistake?
I think that would have helped. And I think in part we paid a price for not doing that in what we see happening with ISIS.
We will increase our support.
Now ISIS has forced Mr. Obama to reverse himself. The new policy depends on local forces to win on the ground, but many of the available partners are dubious. Syrian rebels fight each other, and the Pentagon figures only about half the Iraqi army is reliable. But